Elizabeth Skylar lost her entire $7 million wellness empire in 2 hours, but this wasn't market failure. Alexis Fawx had been planning this business nuclear strike for 9 months. The woman who stole her investors was about to discover that betraying a MILF businesswoman comes with devastating consequences. This is the most brutal wellness industry revenge ever recorded. What started as trusted mentorship became corporate espionage. What began with shared dreams ended with stolen empires and federal charges. By the time you finish watching this, you'll see how one woman's patience and evidence turned her protégé's moment of triumph into complete business annihilation. This isn't just revenge, this is mentor's justice. The gleaming conference room of Wellness Innovations Group overlooking Miami's financial district fell into shocked silence as Alexis Fawx walked through the glass doors, carrying a briefcase that would destroy Elizabeth Skylar's empire. The investor presentation had been called to celebrate Elizabeth's revolutionary wellness concept, a $4 million funding round that had been stolen from Alexis through systematic betrayal and fraud. "Elizabeth," Alexis announced, her voice cutting through the assembled crowd of venture capitalists, wellness industry executives, and legal advisors. "Before you celebrate your funding success, I think these investors should know exactly how you developed this revolutionary concept, especially since every innovation you're presenting was stolen from my proprietary research." The statement sent shockwaves through the high-stakes business gathering. Elizabeth's confident presentation faltered as she realized her former mentor wasn't here to support her success. She was here to expose the theft. But what happened next would become legendary in wellness industry circles, as Alexis Fawx unleashed 9 months of meticulously documented evidence that would prove Elizabeth Skylar had built her entire empire on stolen intellectual property and systematic betrayal of trust. The betrayal had started 15 months earlier when Alexis had taken Elizabeth under her wing as a business protégé. Alexis had spent years building Fawx Wellness, a revolutionary approach to holistic health that combined fitness, nutrition, mental wellness, and lifestyle coaching into an integrated system that was generating millions in revenue. Elizabeth had been the perfect student, intelligent, ambitious, and seemingly dedicated to learning the wellness industry. Alexis had shared her proprietary methodologies, introduced Elizabeth to her investor network, and even included her in confidential strategy sessions for expanding Fawx Wellness nationally. Everything had been perfect until Elizabeth decided that learning from success wasn't enough. She wanted to steal that success entirely. The theft had been systematic and devastating. Elizabeth had secretly copied Alexis's wellness protocols, stolen her client management systems, and even recruited several key Fawx Wellness employees to her own competing company. Most damagingly, she had used the investor relationships Alexis had introduced her to for funding her competing business while spreading lies about Alexis's financial stability. But Elizabeth had made a fatal mistake. She had underestimated exactly how thorough and vengeful a betrayed mentor could be. "Ladies and gentlemen," Alexis announced to the stunned conference room, "I have some evidence that will educate you about Elizabeth's innovation methods." She opened her briefcase and connected recording equipment to the room's presentation system. "This is Elizabeth talking to my former employee Marcus Rodriguez about how she plans to copy my wellness protocols exactly while claiming she developed them independently." The audio began playing through the conference room speakers, filling the space with Elizabeth's voice clearly admitting to intellectual property theft and systematic plagiarism. The venture capitalists listened in horror as their investment target bragged about stealing proprietary business methods. "That recording is completely out of context," Elizabeth protested desperately, but Alexis was prepared for denial. "Really? Let's provide context," Alexis replied, playing another recording. "This is Elizabeth explaining to investor Sarah Chun how she gained access to my confidential business plans by pretending to be a loyal protégé while secretly planning to steal my entire business model." The second recording was even more damaging, revealing calculated deception and breach of trust that went far beyond simple business competition. But the nuclear bomb was still coming. "Now here's the really interesting evidence," Alexis continued, her voice gaining deadly intensity. This is Elizabeth coordinating with my former clients to spread false rumors about Fawx Wellness's effectiveness while promoting her identical competing services. The final recording was devastating. Elizabeth's voice filled the conference room as she outlined a defamation campaign designed to destroy Alexis's reputation while stealing her client base through systematic lies and manipulation. The room erupted in shocked whispers as the full scope of Elizabeth's criminal enterprise became clear. "Elizabeth," Alexis said with ice-cold precision, "you spent months pretending to learn from me while actually planning to steal everything I had built. But you forgot that successful businesswomen don't survive by being naive. We survive by being smart enough to document betrayal before it destroys us." She pulled out additional documents that would complete Elizabeth's destruction. "I also have copies of my proprietary wellness protocols that you've been using without permission, along with copyright documentation proving that every innovation you're presenting today was stolen from my intellectual property." The evidence was overwhelming and legally damning. Elizabeth hadn't just competed unfairly. She had committed systematic intellectual property theft that violated multiple federal laws. But Alexis wasn't finished destroying her former protégé. "The really beautiful part," she continued, "is that while Elizabeth was busy stealing my business model, I was building evidence that proves she's violated intellectual property laws, breached fiduciary duty, and engaged in fraud against the investors she's trying to deceive today." She delivered the killing blow with a smile that could power a small city. "I'd like everyone to meet David Martinez from the Federal Trade Commission's Business Fraud Division." A man in an expensive suit stepped forward from the back of the room. "Ms. Skylar is currently under federal investigation for intellectual property theft, investor fraud, and violation of trade secret laws," Martinez announced. "We have warrants to seize all business records and freeze assets pending criminal prosecution." As federal agents entered the conference room to execute search warrants, Elizabeth Skylar's $4 million funding round was immediately canceled. Her business assets were frozen, and her stolen empire crumbled in real time. But Alexis wasn't finished delivering justice. "Wait, there's more," she said with satisfaction that could light up Miami. "I've also provided evidence to the wellness industry certification boards proving that Elizabeth has been operating without proper credentials while claiming qualifications she never earned." The revelation that Elizabeth's entire professional credibility was fraudulent sent additional shockwaves through the industry gathering. Several wellness organizations immediately announced investigations into her certification claims. "Elizabeth," Alexis concluded, "next time you try to steal someone's life work, make sure you understand the difference between learning from a mentor and committing federal crimes against them. And maybe develop your own innovations instead of just stealing other people's success." As Elizabeth Skylar was led away by federal agents, her stolen empire in ruins, and her reputation destroyed forever, Alexis Fawx had achieved the perfect mentor's revenge while protecting the wellness industry from systematic fraud. The aftermath was swift and comprehensive. Within days, Elizabeth's competing business collapsed as federal investigations revealed the full extent of her intellectual property theft. Meanwhile, Alexis's Fawx Wellness became more successful than ever, with investors and clients appreciating her integrity and protection of industry standards. The revenge had been perfect because it combined personal vindication with industry protection, exposing systematic fraud while rewarding authentic innovation and ethical business practices. 6 months later, Alexis reflected on the experience during a wellness industry conference. "Mentorship is about sharing knowledge to help others succeed, not creating opportunities for theft and betrayal. My experience with Elizabeth taught me that trust must be balanced with documentation, and that protecting your intellectual property is just as important as developing it." She continued, "The wellness industry should reward authentic innovation and ethical business practices, not theft and fraud. I hope my story encourages other entrepreneurs to protect their work while also showing that justice is possible when you have patience, evidence, and the courage to expose wrongdoing." The story became a cautionary tale in the wellness industry about the importance of intellectual property protection, while also demonstrating how victims of business theft could fight back effectively through documentation and strategic legal action. Most importantly, Alexis had proven that in an industry built on trust and wellness, authentic innovation and ethical behavior ultimately triumph over theft and deception when combined with intelligence, preparation, and the determination to protect what you've built. Thank you for watching this incredible story of business mentorship betrayal and perfect entrepreneurial revenge. If you found this tale of authentic innovation triumphing over systematic theft inspiring, please hit the like button and subscribe for more shocking stories of how business criminals get exposed and honest entrepreneurs get vindicated.